All right, guys, welcome. It is week 8. We're talking all about networking groups tonight. And by we, I mean trainer and also team leader Jason Pelland, who's from New Hampshire in Region 1. Incredible guy. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about him in just a second. But before we get into tonight's session, I did want to share with you guys a little bit of a brief testimonial about an experience this last week, which surprisingly enough completely relates to tonight's topic. So last week I brought on a Web Center intern. Her name is Haley. She's a freshman at Roger Williams University. So she's like literally only 18. Was a dance major, is an incredible dancer actually, but decided to make the switch to a business major with really no experience, just the desire to do something for herself. So she's really attracted to the Web Center division, and but like most college people, wanted to get started, but with very little capital to get started. So I mentioned the Web Center intern program. Walked her through just the very basics, the how to conduct a 15-minute consult, what to say to prospects to get them to be interested in a 15-minute consult. And I just said, listen, just see how many consults you can get out, and then we can schedule full-on appointments from there. Well, in her first day, she had 4 solid consults booked. By the end of the week, she had conducted 6 15-minute consultations, and all 6 of them decided that they wanted a full-on website demonstration appointment as a follow-up. So the point is like, how did she do that? So I just want to mention 2 things about that experience. First is it is really a different experience for myself and for Jason and Russell and the other team leaders to coach people when they're actually talking to prospects, because Haley, like, she just ate up so much of my time last week, and I didn't care at all, because every time she reached out to me, it was like a specific question about a specific prospect and what to say to this person in this situation, or this person just wrote back and said this, what do you think? And it was so much fun, because I'm like, this is what mentorship is all about. This is what helping someone and coaching a team member should feel like, because the types of questions that are coming in are ones where I felt like I was actually being valuable to her as a coach, versus, hey, where do I download this? It's like, just go look on the downloads page. You know what I mean? So it was just a totally different quality of question that she had over and over and over again, because of the fact that she was experiencing things. So I wanted to just share that with you, firstly, to say, please, whatever you do during these sessions, take it all in, but don't forget that the most important part of every session is the last slide that tells you what are your next steps to implement what you've learned. Because when you do that, you can then turn around and send a private message or an email to your team leader with specific questions. And that's when your team leaders end up being the most valuable to you, is when you ask them really great questions like that based on experiences that you're having trying to apply a lesson or trying to start something. And then the second thing about the experience last week is I found it really interesting because she's so new, not just to the business and to web centers, but just to the idea of the workforce at all as an 18-year-old freshman in college, And so one of the things that she did was she listened, and she said, I'm going to really leverage the people that I know and the strong community that I come from. So she found an online group for our town. Well, she's in the town that I teach in, and she just said, hey, it's Haley. I grew up here. I was raised here. My family was raised here and grew up here. And anyway, I'm a freshman at Roger Williams, and I just started majoring in business, and I'm actually looking to help small businesses with their website and online marketing. If you guys know anybody that would want to do a quick consult to see if we might be able to help them out, let us know. She said she was interning, blah, blah, blah. So she just basically, that was her 30-second commercial, which was 100% true to her. And within minutes, she had a ton of people commenting either, oh, I need help, or, oh, my friend owns this restaurant, they need help, or I'm interested, but I'm relocating in the next 2 weeks. Can you please call me on this date? It was insane. And so the thing is that it's that warm market stuff. So this is a kid. she's not even a kid, she's an adult. I have to stop thinking of her. I taught her since she was like 8, in dance, not in business. But this is a person who just was like, I'm from this community, I'm looking to help, who can lead me to people, and had a ton of responses. And she's not an expert. She wasn't claiming to be an expert. She wasn't trying to tell people what to do. She was simply offering to do consults inside of an online networking group. That's it. And it ended up leading her 6 incredible appointments that went really well. And that actually her first sales appointment is tomorrow. The funniest part about all of this is I literally just like set up her status as an intern today. Like, she's moving so fast, I didn't have time to just do the logistical things. And she's focusing on the result producing activities more than the little nuances. So anyway, I know it was kind of a long-winded story, but I wanted to share it with you because I really felt that a lot of people that are minoring in web centers might look at tonight's topic and not be sure if it applies to them, but it does if you do it in a way that is organic and authentic. So that's what Haley did last week. Is she found a way to introduce herself inside of her town networking forum, and it landed some incredible results. So this topic is applicable to all, and there isn't someone better to talk about it than Jason Pelland, who is, like a lot of our team leaders, not just good at networking, but an excellent communicator. And he's also incredibly creative. And we'll be talking about the brand new business to business networking events, which are events that are sort of modeled after the concept of a product event, or even a UBP, where you guys as web center owners can just invite your website or digital marketing prospects to an event so that they can be educated on the power of digital marketing for the first 75% of the presentation. And then 25% of the presentation is all about how we can help. So it's great because it's allowing certified web center trainers to actually sell appointments for you on your behalf. So, I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, guys, is learning how to sell to an event, which is something you already know how to do, so that the trainer can set your appointments, so that the product specialist can close your sales. So it's all about learning how to set it up and talking to people and inviting, and how to function inside of a networking opportunity at all. And when you manage that and you learn how to do that, you can be incredibly successful. So Jason inspired those events because he was basically doing them anyway. We just, took a look at it and added a little bit to it, and that's about it. And so again, I couldn't think of anybody better than he to share this with you. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the presenter mode over to Jason and let him take it from here.
All right, can you see my screen here?
Yep, sure can.
Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and put this from the beginning. Excellent.
Yep.
And everyone can hear me okay?
Yep, it's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let you drive the car here.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Sarah Rose. We talked about this a while back and talked about the fact that there are a lot of networking groups that already exist out there. And further in the conversation, we'll talk a little bit about how we can create our own networking groups, talking about our incredible business solutions through MA Web Solutions. But we need to really take a look at where our possibilities are coming from. We're here in week 8, and I find that most people at this point may have exhausted some of those contacts, those possibilities. They're going through referrals. But what's equally as important as starting with that names list is adding to it, right? We talk about that with the unfranchised and adding 2 names per day to that list, but as a web center owner, we should be doing the same thing. Our inventory really is names and contacts. So names in our business, it would be the equivalent of fuel in a car. And you can start with a full tank of gas and you can drive the car, but once you run out of gas, that car stops and you can't really go anywhere until you refuel. The car isn't broken, the engine doesn't need to be fixed, there's nothing wrong with the transmission, nothing wrong with the vehicle, you just need more fuel. So the web center business is the same way. So you certainly start with your names list and you work it, but you have to refuel. And I really, really recommend that you don't wait until the list is exhausted, that you run out of gas. You should be on an ongoing basis adding names of contacts and going through this exercise. The Getting Started Guide and the 12-week action plan is set up to make sure that you're adding new possibilities. Who do you know that owns a business? Who is employed at a small, medium business? Who do you do business with, and who's well connected? Every single day, every single week, you should be bumping into these types of individuals. So you want to keep that on the top of mind. In fact, on the passenger seat of my vehicle, my car, is this sheet where I'm jotting down. If I'm at a stoplight, I might actually take a quick photo of a van in front of me, or a contractor's truck. Or if I'm in a parking lot, say I'm at my local hardware store or big box store, there are contractors there, and they've got lettered vehicles. So I'm always, keeping my eyes and ears peeled to this information. But what better way than, we talked about social media, and certainly Ray last week talked about referrals and consumer power, people that are talking about different restaurants they've gone to, more, new hair salons that they've visited, new nail salons, but networking groups, right? You really, if you're a professional in the Web Center division, you should be looking at networking groups as a gold mine for yourself. It's a great way to meet who? Your decision makers or your business owners. So typical or traditional networking groups that people are familiar with would be like the Chamber of Commerce. So the chamber where you live, or maybe it's a metro chamber where it's a couple of the surrounding towns. How about BNI, Business Networking International? That's another one. So some people can join that networking group for an annual fee. You meet with the business owners once a week, and you can get some great referrals by building a rapport with those members. But each BNI chapter also allows you to come in as a guest, and you can come in as a substitute. There's lots of ways that you can engage with the BNI groups rather than just being a member. Maybe you want to test out a couple different areas rather than, say your hometown where you know a lot of the community. Maybe you want to go to a surrounding BNI chapter where you don't know people, and that's a great way to engage a new audience. How about religious groups, right? You're talking about organizations and civic and community town groups where there are people. And people know business owners if they aren't business owners themselves. So the idea is that this is all about connecting and networking with people who might work at a small or medium-sized business in your local area, who might own a business and be able to refer you or connect you. Certainly in the day and the age of the internet and social media, online groups. I mean, there's certain groups out there dedicated to networking. Has anyone ever heard of a social type of network called Meetup, right? You can go to a Meetup and search for groups that are already in your area, and certainly just introduce yourself and show up at these networking groups. Or you could start your own Meetup online group and then meet physically. How about LinkedIn or Facebook? Plenty of opportunity. And I know in my town, we also have our own town Facebook page where everyone kind of, we call it squawks, right? Everyone squawks, and they're always looking for information, but it's a great place to network. Now, there's a difference between networking and promoting, and that's very, very important. You don't want to be soliciting people. This is not about sales. It's about networking, getting to know people and engaging them. So how do you make the most out of a networking event or a networking group, right? A couple quick rules that make it more effective for you. One, it goes both ways, meaning be open to learning about other people and don't be one-sided. You never know where things could lead. So I take this to the extreme. In fact, if I go to a networking event, I am not promoting myself at all. And people say, Jason, that's crazy, right? That's crazy that you're going to a networking event and you're not promoting yourself. That's the whole point. But people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you start engaging and asking questions about other people, they start to feel very special and they warm up to you. You build a lot of rapport very quickly, and you can certainly exchange information. Here it says, step 2. But if you can get that connection started at a networking event and take it, I say offline or to another scenario where you might schedule an appointment to meet with them individually, you're going to have much more success because people see you as a valuable resource. So people judge you based on the value that you bring to them, right? So you want to figure out, how can I be genuinely interested in who I'm speaking with and add the most value? Well, we're not very valuable if we say, hey, my name is Jason, I help people with their digital marketing solutions, we should sit down and talk about your website. Well, you need to engage them in conversation like, how's business going? Where do you specialize? Is there a certain focus? How's business going? Is this a good year for you? How's 2017? How's 2017 shaping up for the rest of the year? Do you have a slow season, right? Engage them in conversations and they start thinking, wow, based on this networking social or networking event, every other person has said, hi, how are you? Here's my business card. Hopefully you can do business together. And you will stand out because you're genuinely interested in them. So when it says it goes both ways, it certainly does, but I take it to the extreme and make sure that I am the most special person in every single person's business at that event because you'll stand out. And at the end of the day, they're going to have your card. They may or may not call you, but if you have their contact information and you've made an impression on them, what do you think will happen when you send an email, send a text message, Facebook message, or give them a call? They're going to be much more receptive because they're going to remember you. Okay, and I really wanted to hammer that home tonight. So 2, always exchange information. Make sure you get business cards as well as give them. I also ask if it's okay if I communicate with them and what's the best way to communicate. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot of contacts just like myself. Do you prefer a text message, an email, or a phone call? And you'd be surprised. Most of them will say, hey, send me a quick text message. And that's going to be a method of communication. If they say, I never check my email, well, you're not going to send them an email because they're never going to get it, right? If they say, call me after 5 o'clock is the best time to reach me, fantastic. I always ask them right when you're delivering your card and getting theirs, I say, I'd love to stay in contact. I'd love to continue the conversation. How best can I contact you? Email, text message, or phone call? And they'll let you know. And I usually say, what's the best time to reach you? And that's almost like permission-based marketing. I'm going to get all the information right there to have a solid connection, right? 3, ask questions. Use the time to identify qualified prospects, right? Start thinking about those 15-minute consultation questions, right? Memorize a few of them. Take out those sheets, print them, or tear them off the pads. Take 1 or 2 from each sheet and lodge them in your memory, okay? And the more you do it, you'll get really good at asking those questions. And once they answer those questions, you'll know what questions to ask next, right? Are you on social media? Fantastic. Facebook or Twitter? Great. What is your Facebook engagement like? That's great. And they might put in a couple tips, like what I find in my business is XYZ, but then asking more questions, because if you're in a conversation with a toddler, who is the one who's really steering the conversation? It's the toddler, because they're asking more questions, right? The person who asks the most questions is steering the conversation, and let that be you, okay? Make them feel important, let them engage and share information about their business, because it's going to give you valuable insight. But I also want you to think about this. Listen not to respond, but listen to provide value, right? I'll say that again. Listen not to respond, but listen to provide value. And value doesn't mean that you're going to have the best web design, that you're going to have the best social media, that you're going to have the best SEO. It is about how you as an individual can provide value to them as an individual and a business owner, okay? Describe your client, right? Number 4, focus on asking for referrals for specific industries. If you say, hey, I'm looking for local businesses in the area that might need some help in digital marketing, they're going to think, well, that's a very broad thing. If I come across anyone who's searching, I'll let them know. But if you can target it, like I'm currently working with health professionals in the area that need some help in their digital marketing, if you happen to know anyone, I would love a referral, right? Or maybe you're working with contractors, or maybe you're working with salons or gyms, or maybe it's a specific town, right? I'm really focused right now on helping businesses that are in the Epping or Exeter, New Hampshire area. Okay, it gives them a framework, because then they're more likely to give a referral if they know some specifics. Okay, describe your ideal client. You're not looking for a Fortune 100 company, right? You're looking to work with the small, medium-sized businesses. But just like I said in the other 3 steps, I actually prefer to ask them, if I were to provide the best referral for you, what would that look like and who would it be? Well, what do you mean? Okay, so what towns are you looking to expand your business? What types of services do you want to provide? What kind of demographic? Because if I run into a lot of people, if I'm going to give you a referral, I want to make sure that I give you a good referral rather than wasting your time. Because when you do that first, it's going to prompt a very easy way for you to say, and let me just share a little bit about what I'm looking for. Okay, and then they'll have a framework around that, but always make them first. Okay, number 5, focus on the appointment. Again, we don't just sell services, build a relationship, build the value, and then we schedule the appointment. And the appointment is to review the information, right? There's not enough time to focus on selling a website. There's probably a couple other individuals at that networking event that you want to meet. So focus on selling the appointment. And my favorite appointment to set is a consultation appointment, right? You want to make them feel like you want to learn everything about the business as a way to help, because again, what? Focus on building value. Now again, that appointment might be a phone call. Hey, I'd love to chat more. I know you have some other networking to do. When can I give you a phone call for about 10 or 15 minutes to learn more about your business and how we might be able to help each other out, right? So those 15-minute consultation forms are gold, all right? And if you have a networking event and you have a great person that you're speaking with, you've gathered enough information and you feel that it warrants a demo, right? Whether it's a DMP product or a website demo, great, absolutely. Ask them when they're available and tell them that you've got some specialists and technicians that can help them with their need, and then you can book the appointment there. But I'm always trying to provide value, okay? Can't say that enough. So as Sarah said, wouldn't it be great if you could simply invite a business owner to learn about our products, right? Have a Web Center trainer come in and talk about all the things that we provide for your business owners. So we have the brand new business networking events. And what is the purpose? It's really to educate business owners, not on our solution, right? Look at this. The purpose is to educate business owners on the power of digital marketing. They're hearing more and more that they're wasting dollars in print media. They're seeing how expensive it is to do media campaigns, whether on a cable television or even radio or things like that. So they're trying to find out, how can I improve my business without giving my value away, right? They're looking at these coupon programs that are out there. They're looking at ways that they're trying to gain exposure, but the only way they gain exposure is if they give away their service for free or at a discount. So they're concerned about social media. They're concerned about email marketing. They're getting calls every single day from people that say they're from Google. And guess what? They're not from Google. They're getting people calling them saying they're from Facebook for advertising. They're not calling from Facebook, right? Facebook is not calling individuals to set up ad campaigns. They might be doing some email or Facebook advertising, but they're not calling individuals. So they get very, very confused on what is what, who is Google, who is Facebook, who wants my money. And if you're just out there cold calling people, they're going to think you're the same thing. So why not educate them on digital marketing as a whole? Right? Let's build value into why they need a digital solution, why they need design components, why they need mobile responsive websites, why they need social media management, why they might need Google advertising or Facebook advertising, or the big one, online reputation management. Most people have no idea what that means, so why not educate them, right? So in these business networking events, Web Center owners invite prospects to attend an event where they can learn more about digital marketing and as well as how our solution can help. So we're going to go over a couple slides about what we offer in these networking events. But really what we do is we get together, we network, right? It's our own networking event. We do a brief presentation to talk about digital marketing. And then it allows Web Center owners and the trainers to consult, do some more networking, and lastly, book appointments, whether it's a 15-minute consultation appointment or even a DMP or website demo. So the presentation is really focused more on what? Building value, education, right? What makes a great website and digital strategy for them? They're going to walk away saying, wow, at least I learned something. It wasn't a waste of time. So it's very easy to follow with these attendees, right? And we do offer information about our solution and how our product can help. But because our solutions are customized to the individual, we can't go and right there propose a perfect package because we don't know who all the attendees are. So we do a brief synopsis of what we can provide with our solution, and then we leave it to the Web Center owners, and of course the trainers can help engage the business owners in what their next step is. So how about this? How about a business owner that, they have a website, they've had a website for a decade, and they come to a business networking event. We're going to come in, and one of the slides here is, let's talk about websites that work. So we'll talk about branding. So when your customers visit your site, Mr. Business Owner, there is a clear sense of your business and who you are. So think to yourself, Mrs. Business Owner, is your website design consistent with other marketing materials or advertising you do? Is it consistent with your Facebook advertising and your brochures and your business cards? Think about that. And how about accurate content? You know, most customers are looking for up-to-date content. So when is the last time your website was updated? Is your website easy to update? And are you doing it? Are you paying someone to do it? And how cumbersome or how easy is that to do so you can stay relevant? And how about the user, right? The user experience. Visitors should be able to easily navigate and use your website. So think to yourself, is your website visually appealing and easy to use? Is it mobile friendly? Can visitors interact with you? And what happens is when the presentation is happening, you'll see them writing down notes, they're thinking, and some of them at this one will actually pull out their phone and start typing in their website to see if it's mobile friendly. They have no idea, right? So it engages them in the content as it relates to their business. And then we talk about their audience, right? Is it built for both existing and potential customers? Are you just looking to get new leads and new customers? Or are you doing something to make sure that you can retain existing customers, right? Think to yourself what you're doing as a way to provide content valuable for both new and existing. So very, very valuable slide just in this one out of many that we have. So we talk about why does this website work, right? There's a clear sense of branding. Content is easy to read. It's very visual in terms of the imagery, but you don't have to worry about having the best images. We actually use stock imagery and stock photography to make sure that we give you the best representation for your business. Now, if you have images you want to use, great, we can use that, and you should use that, but sometimes it's not always the best quality. If it's fuzzy, grainy, or pixelated, it doesn't give the best representation of your business. So using stock photography sometimes is recommended. How about this? Is your website responsive, right? So here we have this website across 4 different devices. We've got a tablet, we've got a desktop, we've got a laptop, and we have a smartphone. Same website, but it's responsive in nature across all devices. It's interactive. It's information for both existing and potential clients. And we have other samples and other sites that we will talk about to show them what we mean. Now, I think a lot of business owners are confused about social media, so we'll actually talk about a social media strategy. Again, building value. We recommend that you incorporate the 10-3-1 formula, right? 10 shares of entertaining or interesting inspirational posts, not highly business related, and then 3 shares of industry specific information. You know, maybe there's a new piece of information or legislation in your industry that you want to push out to your Facebook or Twitter audience. And then 1 share of your specific company product offer or your business is what we recommend. And then repeat. It'll keep you from being salesy or pitchy. In fact, I've got a client right now, it's actually a salvage yard. And we brought them on board and they did great with their website. We did some lead generation, we did some online quoting. We're starting to get in some e-commerce and they're very happy, but they're trying to figure out how can we get engaged in social media. So they started a whole campaign called Trash Talk Tuesday. And we created a hashtag for Trash Talk Tuesday, and we're talking about this. You know, you want to make sure that it's engaging, entertaining, and interesting. So now they've got people that are really paying attention to their Instagram and their Facebook based on Tuesdays, and we've been watching their website traffic as well, and noticing that as we do these Trash Talk Tuesday campaigns, it's generating more traffic back to their website, exactly what they want to see. So we talk about the importance of that. We give some examples. So it gives the business owners at these networking events a chance to say, hey, what is my strategy? Am I just posting to post, or am I thinking of this as a marketing strategy, right? So are you on a social network? Is your content valuable? Are you posting consistently? Is it too salesy or always pitching and promoting? Or what is your strategy? Right? Would you like to be on more social platforms? Nowadays, a lot of businesses are like, well, I'm on Facebook, but that's it. But I know that I should be on Instagram. And what about the Snap thing? And what about, should I be doing YouTube videos? So it starts them thinking about what is the next step for them in the social world. And then are they interacting with their followers? right? A lot of them say, well, I've got a lot of likes, but that doesn't mean there's engagement. So it's important for them to start thinking about it. And this networking event gets their mind spinning that maybe they should be more involved in their social strategy. And certainly if they're self-employed, say they're a contractor, they're in the roofing and siding business, they'll say, I'm on a building 5 out of 6 days of my working days. I don't have time to be checking my social media accounts to reply to my customers. And when I get home at night, it's too late or I'm bogged down. So it's a great way for them to start thinking about social media management. But on the other side, it's also a good networking event, right? So certified web center trainers host the business-to-business networking events, and it's really for you. It's for any web center owner and any unfranchised owner that has a potential business owner that they know works somewhere that we can engage with in order to help you do your job in terms of learning about their business, scheduling those 15-minute consultations, and booking appointments, right? So here we are in the 12-week action plan, week 8. How do you introduce yourself? Right? You need to be able to have like this elevator speech. We say, the 2 or 3 minute commercial, but it really should be 15 to 30 seconds. If you're talking more than 30 seconds, they're not listening, right? So 15 to 30 seconds, describe what you do. Leave room for a variable sentence based on who you're talking with, right? So I help, small businesses is great, but I help contractors just like you, or I help people in the health and beauty industry leverage digital media XYZ, right? So you want to make sure that it's targeted. So you're going to want to make sure that you write down your 30-second commercial. And the written word is great, but I always say from my personal training background that the tongue is a muscle, right? And just like anything else, you've got to use it in practice. So if you write down this perfect 30-second commercial, you might trip over your words the first time you're trying to say it. So I encourage role playing. I encourage recording yourself and listen to how you sound. Get used to the words rolling around in your mouth and off your tongue, because it's all too often that someone says, I've got the best 30-second commercial, Jason. And then the first time I say, well, what is it? They start stumbling and fumbling and stuttering, and they can't even get the words out, right? So it's something that's going to take consistent practice and engaging conversations, and this will become second nature. Online local groups that you should join. I recommend searching Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. Check out Meetup if there's any meetups happening in your area, and if not, start one. Local entrepreneurs, local business owners just getting together for coffee to discuss business. Something, right? Find a way to use online to take it offline. Certainly your town websites and your town groups. But again, it's not an arena to be, I like to say that you don't want to do self-promotion, right? I say no self-promotion unless you're on a group that says, Shameless Sunday or Shameless Self-Promotion, and you go ahead and put your link, right? That's great. But find live groups, find online groups, and really your focus should be, again, to add value. So you should be writing down your business pages, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blog, LinkedIn, get other people to engage with your Facebook and social media accounts, as well as these others that are listed. But in your next business networking event, because they're not on any GMTSS calendar yet, we're hoping to build it to that point, maybe someday. But right now, you're going to want to stay engaged with your local leadership and your local certified web center trainers. And if you'd like to see one of these, you need to maybe reach out on mawc401.com and the feedback and say, hey, I'm looking for a networking event. I know that here in the Northeast, pay attention if you're in the Central Mass, Rhode Island area, or New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. I've got some that I'm just looking for some venues, but I'm looking to do one in Southern Maine, Seacoast, New Hampshire, Central New Hampshire, Southern New Hampshire, North Shore, Massachusetts, maybe even up in like the Burlington, Vermont area. So just stay tuned, stay engaged on the Facebook Web Center Owner Group, another great resource for us to pay attention to. And as always, we got to come back to the basics, and that's activity leads to results, right? Activity leads to results. And Sarah had a great explanation of what was happening with this intern, and it's because she took action, right? You can know everything. You have a PhD in MA Web Solutions without any sales or any outcome because you're not taking any action. So the most important thing you do on a weekly basis is take action. So mark off your little sheet here, but I also want everyone to make sure that they're focusing on the follow-ups, referrals, and now networking, as we've talked about the last couple weeks. So incredible, incredible things happening in the Web Solution division. Again, all these sessions are recorded. You can find them on the MAWC411.com page. And then, of course, we've got our emails that go out from the team leaders. And the challenge for this week, right, is to choose your path. Are you a professional? Are you doing a simple sales approach? And I'm going to turn it over to Sarah from here.
Perfect. Awesome. Actually, it's funny. You first of all, you did awesome. If you could just scooch back one slide. I just want to review one last little thing, and you actually pretty much covered everything. There's nothing to add. Thank you so much, Jason. I'm gonna just leave you as presenter just because this is really the last slide. Is so, guys. Jason gave you so many good tips. Honestly, I was like writing down notes myself, and I just love listening to different speakers share not just their examples, but the analogies that they have to help us to understand certain things. It's just really, really helpful. So thank you, Jason. If you're minoring in web centers, what your focus for the week should be is just simply go ahead and identify some local and or online groups that are either dedicated to your town or networking specifically. And what you're going to do is you're going to interact in them. Do what Haley did, do what Jason did, use it as an opportunity to learn about people. I loved when he said there's a difference between, showing up to a networking event and networking and promoting. And so just like what he said, at a live networking event, you don't want to spend all your time promoting. Same thing in these online groups. We see a lot of people join the online groups and they're just, sell, sell, sell. And it's not very conversational based because people think, oh, it's online, I'll just post it, and why am I not getting appointments? Well, part of it is you're not taking the time to really, introduce yourself and meet other people and learn about them. So go ahead and focus on that if you're minoring. If you're majoring in web centers, you're going to do that as well. But like Jason said, don't just write down your 30-second commercial. You're going to practice the 30-second commercial so that, like he said, it rolls off your tongue very simply. Um, in addition, you can also use your LinkedIn to as a way to network and meet business contacts. If you're a professional, do all of those things, and we just want to challenge you to consider to start and create your own networking group. Like Jason said, they started one and it had incredible results. And so if you have the time to be an admin for something like that, it could be really powerful for you to meet new people and also to establish yourself as professional. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. If there are any questions, please make sure that you go ahead and you post your questions in the Facebook group or you shoot us an email. Thank you again, everybody. Make it a great week, and we'll stay in touch throughout the week. Take care, guys.